Did your dog do this? We get a lot of client dogs that do. I did nothing there. Dog took the food and ran away. Obviously, if that happens very many times, that's going to become an even more ingrained habit. You cannot let this happen. Now, normally, I don't think many clients would stand there and watch a dog steal something and do nothing. But you know what the problem is? They're in the other room, which is just as bad. They're in the other room. Dog comes up and steals something. Dog figures out, hey, this was cool. There's no consequence, and I can do it again. So let me show you how we actually fix this issue. And stay tuned to the end, because by the end of this, I absolutely guarantee, even though this is our first session, I'm going to be able to drop that food on the ground, no leash, no collar, no command, and the dog's going to leave it alone. And I'm going to show you how we do that. So I just mentioned we're going to get to be able to do this off leash, but we have to work up to that. So now I want to talk briefly, hey pup, come here, about the difference between proactive and reactive training. Reactive training to me would be that we do nothing to fix this. We're in the other room, dog jumps on the counter, and we're like, hey, stop it, and we come running in to try to stop the dog. That is not being proactive in the slightest. By that point in time, the dog's already eaten the food, and it's probably too late to even correct them. What I want to do is proactive training. I want to start teaching her to be respectful. Respectful around food. So there I gave a quick tug on the leash. Notice I said no, but I didn't scream. There's never a time you need to be screaming for this. I will get a little bit sterner through time, but here, look what happened like 30 seconds ago. She stole the food and nothing happened, right? So the next time I can't just out of nowhere be incredibly stern. She's been stealing food at home for a while. She needs to learn this is not acceptable. So that was the first correction I've ever given this dog. I've only known her for a few minutes, so I was petting her, hanging out with her earlier just to become buddies, but she stole food once, which you saw. The next time I gave her a tug and told her no calmly. We can see she's already doing better. Now, she can't fight this impulse forever. Right now, she's being a perfect dog. This isn't going to last. We all know that. What a good girl. Let's see how she does. So now, people ask us, why do dogs counter-surf? Because they want to, right? Because they want this food. And dogs counter-surf, and when people are unable to fix it, it's one of a couple reasons. It's either they're not setting it up, so they're not catching the dog, or they're practicing a method that doesn't work. So I'll tell you what doesn't work. Trying to fix this with purely positive reinforcement is just never going to work. I've seen people explain how you fix it with purely positive reinforcement, and the idea is you teach the dog to do something else instead of jumping on the food, jumping to get the food, teach him to hold a sit stay, whatever, all these different things. If you're doing that, if the dog wants the food more than they want to do that other thing, they're going to jump for the food. It's not going to stop. There needs to be some sort of consequence. You already saw my consequence. I said no calmly and gave a little tug, so it's not a big deal. Hey, pup. Hey, come here. What are you doing? So she's a young dog. She's excited by everything right now. She's excited by the camera person. Okay, she's doing great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give her a piece. Now, this might seem, hey, pup, confusing, but here, no. So there, I give a tug because I don't want her jumping for my hands either. Dogs can have food, right? There's nothing wrong with her having, a piece of lunch meat. I want her to take it politely, and I don't want her taking it off the counter. There you go. So she can have that, and I need her to learn that she doesn't get it until it's given to her. So now I'm going to put this back on the counter. Okay, so for the moment, she's kind of in training mode, and she's doing great. Now, she is a golden retriever. People often ask what breeds are prone to counter surfing. So one, Great Danes for sure, because they're big enough they can just walk over and grab it. But really any dog that loves food. So we see this a lot with labs, a lot with hound dogs tend to be pretty food driven, but it could be any breed, right? It's any dog who wants this bad enough they're willing to jump. Okay, so now we've made some progress. She's doing really well. I'm going to make this a little bit harder. Now taking the leash off, if I wasn't filming a video, if I take the leash off and I set this down and she leaves the room, I'd say, cool, that's what we want, right? I want her to be able to ignore this. If she goes off to explore, I'm going to have to get her back, of course, to continue shooting the video. All right, so we're working with Nala off leash. I want her to see this. You need to make sure you're not teasing the dog. I'm not going to encourage her to get it, but we also need to be able to have good manners around food, right? If you have kids walking through the house with a PB&J in their hand, the dog needs to leave it alone. So now we can see, I didn't ask her to sit. She's just being a good dog. So you don't need us to put him in a sit stay for this. And actually, in my opinion, you shouldn't. Because I don't want my dog to only be able to ignore food when they're in a sit stay. I want her to be able to ignore the food when she's free. Walking away is awesome. It says, hey, I've given up on that food. I'm going to go do something else. Hey, what a good girl. So now Nala's doing great. Now she's doing awesome with me in the room. So the little jump there, if I'd caught that quick enough, I would have told her no, but too late. You have to be on the spot right away. So now I'm going to set her up. I'm going to walk out of the room, but I'm going to go somewhere where I can see her. So I'm going to walk right out there. I'm going to leave her free, and we're going to expect her not to steal this, and we'll see how she does. But I'm keeping my eye on her. I'm not going to turn my back for a second. So now I'm in the other room, and I'm at a position where I'm far enough away from her that I shouldn't be super noticeable. I'm trying to whisper so she's not thinking about me, but I'm far enough away that I'm not super noticeable, but I can see her out of the corner of my eye. And she's now free in there, and she's allowed to do whatever she wants besides steal the food. So she can hang out. I don't care if she looks at it. She needs to get past that urge and be able to control her impulses. She picked up a toy. That's awesome. That's a good decision. So now if she does steal it from here, you're going to see me and hear me say no in a stern voice. I'm not going to scream like a lunatic, but I'm not going to say, Nala, no. It would be, in between those two things, it'd be nice and stern, and I'm going to walk in there immediately. My goal would be, and I'm trying to keep an eye on her at the same time as we're talking, my goal would be that if I see those paws go up, and she's just looking at it, if I see those paws go up and I say, Nala, no, and I go walking in, that it stops her. She doesn't get the food. She stops. She responds to me, and that's a great learning experience. I want her to start to learn I'm going to see her from anywhere, and I'm always going to catch her, so there's no reason to do this behavior. You never get the reward, and you get sternly told no every time you do it. So she's interested in it, and she's not looking back at me. Some dogs will check in with you a little bit too much and they realize you're watching them. If that happens, I've got a couple tricks for you can use that work even better than this, but this is where I usually start. Nala is killing it. We've still only had that one correction, so now we're going to make it a little bit harder. So you just saw me out of the room. That's one of my favorite tricks. Two other ones. One is you can use a camera, set up a camera so you can watch them and go in the other room and watch on iPad, computer, or whatever. Or super old school, and I've been doing this since long before we had smartphones, use a mirror. And it sounds silly, but set a mirror up somewhere where you get a reflection so you can see the spot. And now you could sit around the corner, you look at the mirror and you can see, where the food, is sitting, and you can catch the dog easily that way. So I wanted to take just a quick break and ask you for a favor. If you enjoy this video, please hit the like button. It gets it in front of so many more people so we can help them with their dogs. I definitely appreciate it. So now we're gonna make this harder. Nala! So now I'm gonna start dropping this on the ground. Hey, Nala. And I need to make sure I'm not teasing her. I don't want, her to be confused. So I'm petting her. She's not getting the food. She needs to learn when this falls, it's not going to her. So now if the first time she goes for it, I'm not going to tell her a stern no. Hey. So there I back in front of her. Notice I said, and, hey, just kind of throwaway stuff. It's not meant to be a command. It's the body language there that matters. So there, if you saw my foot, I was ready to move in front of her, but she did much better than I expected. She's fighting impulses right now. I'm not using a sit stay. I'm not using a down stay, and there's a real reason for that. She has to be able to fight this impulse. Otherwise, she's never going to get it. Otherwise, your dog's going to... I see trainers where the dog lives their life in a place command, up on a cot, a climb, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's weird, and it's not the way a dog should live. I want her to live a normal life, hey, sweetie, and be able to be free in the house and hang out. And when human food falls on the floor, to be able to leave it alone. This has a huge safety component. This is important. If you drop medicine, you don't want your dog to gobble it up. But also, if she can do this, no. So if she can do this, that's easy, right? If she can leave this alone on the floor, and you saw she went for it once. We are so fresh in our training. She's doing awesome. So I love how she's doing right now. And you have to put yourself in a position so you can be successful. If I really don't trust her, then I'd be here every single time and dropping it behind me. If she's doing fairly well, I'll be back here. Now I'm going to try getting her up without her going to it, and this is hard. Nala, hey, come here. Come here, good girl. Yes, you're a good girl. So I'm trying to have my hand, I was just starting to say, I'm trying to have my hand close on the other side of her because I think she's going to go for it. And she got it before the words could come out, or tried before the words came out of my mouth. And what happens is when she's kind of sitting on her own, she's in a submissive position and she's not willing to take it. And I started petting her, she got excited, and then bam, she went for it. And luckily I was quicker that time. Nala, hey, come here, good girl. Let's go. Yes, what a good girl. Hey, Nala. So that's okay. She's licking where it used to be. That's fine. What a good girl. Hey, no. Come here, Nala. So there, I told her no, even though she hadn't gotten it. she was 100% going to it. If she was casually walking out of the room, I would have let it play out to see what she was going to do. So now there's someone else around the corner back there that she sees. Now she's thinking about going to them. I would let that play out, even though if she walks that way. So that was super cool. And let's spend a second on that. That was not accidental. There's someone in the other room she really wanted to see. And notice what she did. She didn't walk right next to the meat. She came way over here. And the reason for that is she's showing submission. She's saying, hey, I'm not going to steal that. So that was incredible. And that's what we're looking for. So a lot of times now she's heading back to the room and I'm watching closely because she fooled me once, but not twice. And now she walked off, which is absolutely fine. So sometimes people ask us, will my dog grow out of this? And no, they won't. Now, you'll train them out of it through time. They're going to realize that they can't get away with it, but they're not going to grow out of it. They just won't. And very often people ask us, why is my dog doing this out of nowhere? Well, suddenly they're counter surfing and they're stealing stuff. And I'm just going to put this more in the center of the room. And the reason for that is very often dogs, so they're, very kind of, if you notice I use softer body language and not as stern, because she hadn't committed to going to it, but she was thinking, so I just kind of warned her off. But dogs, often will start counter surfing out of nowhere because they figure out it's cool and it's fun, right? Like an 8-week-old puppy, this is so high, getting up here is like, it's impossible, right? An 8-week-old puppy is generally not going to try it. Then they get to be her age and they realize like, oh my gosh, this is awesome, right? Lunch meat tastes incredible and I can steal it. So that's why they start to grow into it through time. People also ask us about like devices you can use to fix this. There's something called a scat mat. And what people will do is it's like you plug it in and it gives like a very, very low level electric shock. They use them for cats as well to keep them off furniture. I don't really like that. It's not dangerous. It's not bad for the dog, but I'd rather see you train them. And also that operates only based upon fear. And what can happen is dog jumps up, they get that little shock. And if no one's around, it can terrify them so they could jump off and hurt themselves. So I'm just not a big fan. I'd much rather see you train them out of it. So we've made a ton of progress with Nala today. And as I told you at the start of this video, I guarantee we're going to get her to the point where food can be down and she can be loose, not in a command and kind of ignore it. I think you can see this is not that big of a challenge if you have a good training plan and if you're working on it. Work on this every single day. If you have questions, let us know. We'd love to help you with your dog.